Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, has raised concerns about the potential instability of stablecoins under the proposed Clarity Act of 2025. This warning comes amid growing regulatory scrutiny of digital assets and signals a potential shift in how stablecoins might be governed in the U.S. The Clarity Act, introduced in May 2025, aims to establish a clearer regulatory framework for digital assets, including stablecoins. However, Dimon's remarks suggest that the Act's current provisions may not be sufficient to prevent systemic risk in the stablecoin sector. The Clarity Act seeks to clarify the classification of digital assets by determining whether they are securities or commodities. This classification has significant implications for regulation and oversight. If stablecoins are classified as neither securities nor traditional banking instruments, they may face lighter regulatory requirements than other financial products. This could create a regulatory gap that allows undercollateralized stablecoins to operate with less scrutiny. The warning from Dimon reflects concern that such a scenario could lead to instability, particularly if stablecoins are not properly backed or monitored. When a high-profile banking executive like Dimon uses the term blow up, it is a strong indicator of systemic risk. This language suggests that he believes the proposed regulations may not adequately address the risks. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Associated with stablecoins, the concern is not limited to individual token failures, but extends to the broader financial system. If stablecoins are not properly regulated, a collapse in market confidence could trigger cascading effects across decentralized finance, DeFi protocols, and other interconnected markets. The stablecoin space has already seen significant volatility, particularly with the collapse of algorithmic stablecoins. These incidents have demonstrated how quickly market confidence can erode when reserve backing is insufficient. The Clarity Act's provisions must account for these risks to prevent similar events in the future. If the Act fails to impose strict reserve requirements or oversight mechanisms, stablecoins could become a source of instability rather than a stabilizing force in the digital asset ecosystem. One of the key questions surrounding the Clarity Act is whether it will impose sufficient regulatory requirements on stablecoin issuers. If stablecoins are not classified as traditional financial instruments, they may be subject to lighter oversight than money market funds or bank deposits. This could create a regulatory loophole that allows undercollateralized stablecoins to operate with minimal scrutiny. The Act's success will depend on its ability to close these gaps and establish a robust regulatory framework that addresses the unique risks associated with stablecoins. The broader implications of the Clarity Act extend beyond the stablecoin market. The Act's classification system could influence how other digital assets are regulated in the U.S. If stablecoins are classified as commodities, they may be subject to different regulatory standards than traditional financial instruments. This could create confusion and uncertainty for market participants, particularly in regions like Southeast Asia, where digital asset markets are rapidly evolving. The Clarity Act is still in the early stages of the legislative process, and its final form will depend on negotiations between lawmakers and industry stakeholders. The Act's provisions must balance regulatory clarity with market stability to prevent unintended consequences. If the Act Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Fails to address the risks associated with stablecoins, it could lead to increased volatility and instability in the digital asset markets. The next signal to watch is how lawmakers respond to the concerns raised by Jamie Dimon and other industry leaders. If the Clarity Act is revised to include stricter reserve requirements or oversight mechanisms, it could significantly impact the stablecoin market. Conversely, if the Act remains unchanged, stablecoins could become a source of systemic risk in the digital asset ecosystem. The outcome of this legislative process will have far-reaching implications for the stability and growth of digital asset markets in the U.S. and beyond.